background done. Okay, you've got all of them, you've copied them all over, and all the image adjustments are done. What you're going to do now is you're going to create what goes on top. Okay, and again, we're still using image adjustments. I'm going to show you some examples from student work from years past. This one turned out really nice, I think. We're going to use text. You can use text. You can use shapes, the custom shapes, or you can go on the internet and get different images from the internet. Here's another one just using custom shapes that Photoshop gives you, and also, marching ants, your rectangular marquee, elliptical marquee. Okay, these are all custom shapes. So it can be just a design like those. And I think that one turned out really nice also. Very symmetrical, okay, very balanced. So you can use custom shapes, or you can go on the internet and you can get images from the internet too. But when you search on the internet, you want to look for like silhouettes or something that has a good outline. Because what you're going to end up doing is loading that layer and then just changing the pixels inside of the shape that's been loaded. And obviously text on this one. That example again. And obviously the PowerCat and the Jayhawk work just fine because it's very recognizable shape. To do that, I'm going to show you first with text. Okay. Again, you should have flattened your layers so that all of your images are now on one layer. Grab your text tool and so cows are cool, but sometimes scary. Once you get your text on there, you are using it. It's very much like when you inverted your, not inverted your name, but you put pictures inside of your name. You are just using this text layer to get marching ants. You are going to load the layer. Hold down the Command key, and you click on the picture in the layers palette, which on a type layer is that T. You turn the eyeball off. That's all we're using that type layer for, is to get marching ants. Go to your picture layer, and now you can do image adjustments. The most dramatic is the invert. So if you really want it to stand out, you can go to Adjustments and Invert. Now, I haven't shown you this before, but there is up here your fill. There's a difference between opacity, taking the opacity down, and taking the fill down. If you wanted to put like a outline or stroke around your text so it stands out a little bit more, or a drop shadow, what you want to do is turn your eyeball back on your type layer, and then take your fill all the way down on the type layer. You want to take the fill down on the type layer all the way down, and then when you apply a effect, so I'm just going to do a stroke here, you can still see the stroke. Right. Let me show you this a little bit more. So if I had, let me just fill my background here with something. Okay, here's the difference between opacity and fill. If I take the opacity down on this layer all the way down to 0, and I applied a stroke to it, you're not going to see that stroke. Opacity changes everything, every effect on that layer. Your fill, if I were to take that fill all the way down to 0 and apply an effect, you still see the effect. Okay, so that's the difference between your fill and your opacity. So again, if you want to have that, a stroke, and maybe not something so dramatic, maybe you can just do like an outer glow, or a drop shadow might look good, just to set it off a little bit from the background. Okay. So that's how you do text. You get your type layer, you load it, you go to your image layer, you change those pixels that are in the marching ants, and then if you want, you can take the fill down and apply an effect. What I don't want you to do is just type cows are cool and then be done. Like that's not part of it. Okay, I want everything, if you're gonna do text, you've got to take that fill all the way down to 0. If you want to get something off the internet, it would be best to search for silhouettes. Okay, so I search for a cow silhouette. Because again, you want to get the nice outline. So there it is. Okay, how should I select this cow to bring him over to my document? Magic wand, right? Grab your magic wand. Since he's all black, I can just select him, get my move tool, and drag it over. You are going to do the same thing you did with your text. Load that layer. Command, and then click on the picture, turn the eyeball off, and then go down to your picture layer, image adjustments, choose any of these. You just want to change the colors. Now changing the colors doesn't really make it stand out all that much because you've done that with a lot of yours. You know, all of those background pictures have already had their adjustments. So you could also, I'll just invert that. You can do more than one adjustment to it if you want. Now notice I can't move him, right, because I'm on the background layer. So once you change these pixels, they're changed for good, unless you go back in history. So that's how you can get the pictures off the internet. The other one is your custom shapes. Okay, now you can do the rectangular marquee, your elliptical marquee, those, or custom shapes. Your custom shapes are here. I don't know. Let's see. When you draw out a custom shape, it makes a shape layer. Right. Load that shape layer, turn the eyeball off, and change those pixels. If you want to give it a border, what you can do is on that layer, your picture layer, make a selection on the inside, do your select inverse, and then invert those colors. And I did a lot of inverting. You can do any of the image adjustments, but that's how you can create a border on it. Okay, here's one that I did last year. If you want to, the Woo Shock is obviously a good icon. You can tell what that is if you knew what it was. You can tell what it is on there. So you can do college, you can do just abstract. It doesn't have to be of anything. You can just do a design. But what you need to do now is on your background, you're going to, with text, with silhouettes from the internet, with custom shapes, or just with your rectangular marquee, elliptical marquee, or your lasso tool, you're going to change you're going to do image adjustments to the background, okay, the picture layer.